We're talking about confirmation. Every dream, vision, revelation from God is future tense. You're seeing the future. You will walk into that in some way. And when you do, God will give you, like my phone. When it's on vibrate, when I get a call, it vibrates. And the Spirit of God will vibrate inside of you when you've walked into the confirmation. The confirmation is, first of all, the proof that it's from God. It's a message from God because it's future tense. It's the key to the interpretation, application, and delivery or action of any prophetic word that you've been given. So that's why it's so important to be sensitive to receive those confirmations, or you will have missed the whole dream. Okay? You've missed the prophetic word that you were supposed to give to somebody. Okay? So that's why you can't ignore the simplest of dreams. If you even get one word of the dream, hold on to it and pray into it. And a lot of times it's like a thread. If you're able to grab just the end of a thread, hold on to it, and then begin through prayer and being quiet to try to follow that thread of that revelation. So many times I've had dreams I couldn't remember, and when I took a hot shower and relaxed, the dream just flooded back. When you first wake up, don't get right out of bed. Sit on the edge of your bed, stay quiet, and listen to the Spirit, because you're still very much in the Spirit. Right before you go to sleep and when you first wake up, you are in the Spirit. And of course, while you're dreaming. Dreaming is the purest form of revelation because you're not manipulating it. So pay attention to even the smallest dream, pray into it. And a mistake is to start looking, okay, where's the confirmation? And I used to do that when I first started dreaming. I worked in a hospital laboratory, and I'd have this huge dream, and I'd go into work and I'm looking, and I'd ask people, questions, trying to find the confirmation. And what happened is when I stopped trying to find it, I just walked into it. Every revelation, you will just walk into it. You can't avoid it. Now, you can be disobedient to it. When you walk into the confirmation, you can choose to ignore it and not deliver the message, but you can't run away from God. For instance, you have a dream, right? The dream is about you're going to go to Dairy Queen that day. So you're going to say, well, I'm going to fool God. I'm not going to Dairy Queen. I'm just going to mess with God. Let's see if God is God. I am not going to go to Dairy Queen. Well, you're going to go about your day and somebody's going to knock at your door and bring you some Dairy Queen or something. Or you'll see a commercial on TV about you can't outmaneuver God. You can be disobedient, but you can't fool him. Those dreams are your future. They're there. God sees your future and he gives it to you in your dream in a parable. Now, revelation works the same way. We sit down and we get quiet. We write, whatever God gives us. It is future tense. You're seeing something in the future. So these are future tense. We will walk into them. And that's the key. When you get that confirmation, you know what it means. God's puzzles are not like man's puzzles. If you've ever done like the 100-piece puzzle, you know what it is. There's a picture on the front of the box. You can get probably 50% of the pieces in and pretty much the picture. God's puzzles are not like that. You can't understand them until you get the last piece. Suddenly,
sorry guys,
makes sense. Okay, so that's how these prayer visions go. And this is what you have to figure out. What type of revelator are you? What is your revelator personality? If you look at the book of Isaiah and look at the book of Amos, Isaiah was an intellectual. Amos was a herder, I think, a goat herder or something. Both revelation, both future tense, but the verbiage and the style are entirely different. Look at the Gospel of Luke compared to the Gospel of John. See, the Gospel of Mark is very terse, short, choppy. Okay. Luke was a doctor, a physician, very detailed. So, what kind of revelator are you? And this just comes over the years as you revelate. I would go out to do what I call prophetic evangelism. Now, what I thought would happen is God would give me a word for somebody on the street. They'd repent. We'd fall on their knees together on the street, and they'd get saved. Okay. Well, that's not what it was. It turned out that I'd go up to strangers and I would call out their gifting. Did I ever share with you guys the beauty shop lady prophecy? Let me share this. This is how it goes. I go to Walmart and I've got my little notebook and I say, God, give me 5 things, right? And I write them down. And the vision said, look for a lady smoking a cigarette. Okay. And something about her fingernails. Okay. So I pray, okay, I'm in my car. I get out of the car. I'm walking towards the entrance of Walmart in Ephrata. And I see this black lady at the entrance of the door smoking a cigarette. And I'm thinking, oh, shoot, this is not going to be good. I'm going to go up to this strange black lady and say, hi, God told me to tell you. And the message was this person was running away from their prophetic ministry. So I'm going to go up to the strange lady and say, pardon me, ma'am, but God says you're running away from your prophetic ministry. I'm thinking, God, she's going to call 911. I'm going to end up in cuffs. So I walked up to her and I said, look, this is going to sound insane, but I was just praying and it was something about fingernails. And the Lord said, you're running away from your prophetic ministry. She looked up at me and said, yeah, I know that. Oh. She knew she was called to be a prophet and was running away from that ministry. And it turns out she worked in a beauty salon. So that's where the fingernails, they take care of fingernails there too, right?
Yep.
Great. Okay. So God sent me to call out her gifting. He could have sent me to anybody to get them saved, right? So 6 months later, I'm doing this again. This time I'm going to downtown Lancaster. And I do this and I something again about fingernails. I'm thinking, God, what's the deal with the fingernails? So I'm looking at my notes and I'm walking downtown Lancaster looking for some kind of, I walked in one store, it didn't make any sense. I walked in a Vietnamese nail salon. I'm thinking, well, there's fingernail. And they didn't speak any English and they thought I was insane. So I stepped out of the Vietnamese nail salon and across the street, I saw 2 women walk out of a door wearing white smocks. And on this street, I forget which street it is, Orange Street, one of those. It's a beauty shop, but a training school, a beauty training school. And these girls get out and I'm like a block away and they're walking very fast down the road. And God says, that's your target. I said, now, wait a minute, God. First of all, I'm never going to catch them. I'm going to have to run to catch these women. I go get this woman running after them. Again, they're going to call 911. I said, here's the deal, God. If they turn into McDonald's, I will talk with them. If they don't, I am not chasing these women down on the street. Well, don't you know they walked into McDonald's? Okay, so I'm saying, oh, shoot, now I got to do this. So I walked into McDonald's, I got my sandwich, and then they came up behind me, and I'm kind of looking down. And then they bought their sandwich, they turned towards me, and I'm looking down and I'm saying, look, this is going to sound crazy, but I was just praying, and the Lord showed me something about fingernails, and somebody's walking away from their prophetic ministry. And I looked up, and it was the same girl.
Oh.
I'd met her at Walmart in Ephrata. I gave her the word. She worked in that beauty salon school. And she recognized me. She said, "Oh yeah, you're that guy that gave me that message." So I said, "Okay, well, start doing what the Lord wants you to do." Okay. So she must have done it because I've never been sent to her again. So that was what it was really weird. Lord, I don't want to do this, but you finally say, "Okay, God, whatever. If I end up in jail, I end up in jail." But the point is,
Stalker.
yeah, the point is, I was sent to call out her ministry.
Mm.
So my call in the prophetic is to call out people's ministry.